AI is going to take away this amazing personal touch that we love so much in our industry. But really, that's not true, because we can't fill these jobs with people anyway. This is something that we are going to mitigate by actually hiring people that now know how to use AI, so you're even more valuable. You can see how quickly this is writing an email. I mean, it's instant. You can actually program this to be customized to your voice. So you can give it maybe 10 emails that you've written in the past, save those into that GPT, and it's actually going to customize to sound like your voice. It's just like anything else in life. You have to try, and you're probably going to suck at it at first and get really crappy results that are like not what you wanted. And then you keep doing it and you're going to get better. How many people in this room have actually tried some kind of AI tool? Raise your hand. All right, so everybody has kind of experimented a little bit, and AI is something that changes almost every single day. So it's really fun to see how much it's actually getting better all the time. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about specifically how you can use it in your life and business in this industry, okay? I want to start off by taking you way back before any of us were around to 1917, and I want you to imagine that you're a farmer. And every single day you get up and you probably put on your overalls. Can you imagine me in overalls? And you get on your gear and you go out to the field and you put your halter on your horse and you plow the fields and you work all day and you're so tired, and you're out in the field one day and you look over and you see your neighbor, and he's driving this thing that you've never seen before called a tractor. And that day was the day that the industry of farming changed forever. And the day today is very similar, because the tractor actually proved that no matter how fast your horse was, no matter how strong the horse was, and no matter how good you were at making the horse do what you wanted, that horse would never outwork that tractor. And AI is the exact same way. AI is the new tractor. If you think about what we're talking about with these innovations, it does not replace humans. It will never replace the farmer. He or she was still needed. But what it does is it allows you to do more with less. It also allows you to be an expert in something that maybe you're really not good at without having to spend 10 years working on it. So how many of you can think of something, you don't have to tell me what it is, but if you can think of one thing in your life, your career, your business that you would like to be better at, but you know you don't have the time to become an expert in. Anybody have anything? All right, so I want you to think about that thing right now. And as we're talking, I'm going to talk about a bunch of different tools. And if that thing is something I mentioned, I want you to be ready to ask questions at the end so we can get deeper. All right, so why listen to me? I told you I'm Stefanie Couch. I'm from Georgia. You might can tell by my southern twang. I don't know, maybe you thought I was from Canada or something. All right, so I was born and raised in a family lumberyard. So my granddad and my dad actually had a lumberyard really close to the airport in Atlanta. And then for 10 years after I left that business, my dad sold it. I worked for a large company selling and building door shops and selling lots of windows and doors and other building materials. And then 2.5 years ago, my husband and I started a business. So I talk all over the US and Canada about AI, the building materials industry, and have a lot of amazing customers like Plastpro and other people. So I'm in this industry. I love the construction and building industry. And I like to talk about how you can get better with technology. People believe that we still have fax machines in this industry every single day. If you work in a lumberyard, you know that's right? But the real reason I love AI is because when I started my business 2.5 years ago, I used it pretty quickly when it came out, and ChatGPT was a new thing. And I started using it to get leverage in my business. And it wasn't because I wanted to be this great innovator. It's because me and my husband were trying to make it work. And I didn't have anybody and I was broken. I couldn't hire anybody. So how many of you have limited resources, whether it's time, money, and you wish you could leverage that to duplicate yourself or somebody else, right? Okay, so if you didn't raise your hand on that, you probably are lying, just saying. All right, these are a few of my faves. So this is a picture taker. Take a picture of the screen if you're interested in this. These are a few that I love, and I'm going to give you these first off. So the easiest one that everybody knows is probably ChatGPT. Who's used ChatGPT? This guy is awesome. You can start with a free version, and then they have a pro version that does some really cool stuff. So if you haven't tried it, this is the very first thing I would tell you to try tonight in your hotel room or tomorrow morning. Download ChatGPT and just talk to it a little bit, type it, and write an email with it. Something simple, okay? This is my favorite hack that almost no one has ever heard of besides wearing a pink hat. That's my number one hack. This is called Applaud. So if you want to write it down, this is how it's spelled. This little device is like a credit card, and it actually records, and all you have to do is just push this little button, and it will record anything that you or anyone else says. So how many of you go into meetings sometimes, whether it's with clients or a customer, whoever it is, or even something you want to remember, and you're like, man, they said a lot of things during that hour meeting, and I made a lot of promises, and I do not remember what I told them I was going to do. Anybody ever had that happen? I make promises sometimes, and I'm like, I said I was going to send them 86 things, and I don't remember 3 of them. This guy will help you to get that information. So once you get done with that meeting, it is going to give you a complete transcript. It will even tell you, you said this thing, you said this thing. It will identify different speaking voices, so you can tell throughout the meeting who said what. It's really cool. This is $150. One time, you pay for it, and you can record everything. Now, there's some other stuff that you can do on Zoom and things like that that do similar stuff. That doesn't help you when you're in person. This will do that. So that's Applaud. The third thing is Canva. Anybody make something in Canva? All right, I got my Canva whizzes. So Canva has AI now that can do a lot of things with you just putting in a prompt. And there's so much I can't go into right now, but just try that. And again, free resources, right? And the last one, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about what I mean by this, is have you ever had something you would like to make a really weird image of, like an elephant in the room? I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to go back. So I actually said, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And I wanted to make a picture of a pink and blue. You can tell I kind of like those colors, right? Elephant in the room. So I used this software called Midjourney, and I made that picture. And I did that by saying, I want a picture of an elephant in a room that's pink and blue. Super simple. And the number one thing I want you to know from this talk is there is no right or wrong way to start using AI. It's just like anything else in life. You have to try, and you're probably going to suck at it at first and get really crappy results that are like not what you wanted. And then you keep doing it, and you're going to get better. Are y'all ready to like try some stuff and try to fail on AI and see some weird answers it gives you back? It's actually pretty fun, right? Okay, this is a good one, and I like to tell this story about my hubby. He's back here. So my husband, Ben. Prompting is what really matters the most, maybe in life in general, probably definitely in marriage, and definitely with AI. What you ask it for and what you say needs to be as detailed as it possibly can to be able to get the right response from it. So I use an example. If I was really hungry and I said, Ben, can you go out to the concession stand and get me some food? If he brought me back a Snickers bar and I got really upset with him because I wanted a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, I couldn't really get mad because I didn't ask him for a sandwich. I just said, bring me some food. And technically, if I was hangry, a Snickers might do it, right? So this is what you need to remember when you're prompting, is that you can actually tell it detailed stuff and then continue to reprompt it to get more and more detailed answers. And then this is a good one that has just recently come out on ChatGPT. You can actually program this to be customized to your voice. So you can give it maybe 10 emails that you've written in the past, save those into that GPT, and it's actually going to customize and sound like your voice. So I already told you I'm from the South. I say the word y'all a lot. I have some other weird little sayings that I say because I'm Southern. So I could actually program some of that stuff in and say, I want you to sound like a bubbly Southern blonde that knows what she's talking about in the building industry. And it's going to actually be a lot like Stefanie. If you are a very tightened up, buttoned up person and don't want to sound bubbly blonde, tell it to talk like you. And how you can do that is give it examples. So in ChatGPT, how you do that is you actually do GPT and you save it, and you have to keep putting more information in. And let's just say it wrote an email that you loved. It was awesome, exactly what you wanted. You could copy that and put it in and say, save this. This is exactly what I want you to write future emails like. So it actually learns and remembers. That's one of my favorite things about AI. And if you have questions, we're going to have questions at the end, so we can dive deeper into any of this that piques your interest. So I talk a lot about this. And people in this industry especially say, well, let's talk about this thing we're scared of. AI is going to take over. AI is going to take our jobs. AI is going to take away this amazing personal touch that we love so much in our industry. But really, that's not true, because we can't fill these jobs with people anyway. How many of you would love to hire somebody for a job that you can't really fill, or either they want so much money that you couldn't pay that to do it, right? Everybody has that in their industry. This is something that we are going to mitigate by actually hiring people with AI assistants, or people like you that now know how to use AI, so you're even more valuable. What really keeps me up at night is this stuff. By 2031, which is only 6 years away, not very far, 41% of the current people in construction will be gone. They'll be retired. That's a lot of people. And these are the people that know a lot of things because they've been there. That's right, just like you. Zero training programs in most of the areas of expertise. Like, there's not a whole lot of training about doors or windows or whatever it is that you do that's your really great intellectual property. Hard to train that for the next generation, right? And then this one, as a salesperson, it really hurts my heart. 62% of sales calls go unanswered in small to mid-sized businesses. That means out of 10 people that call you, only 4, actually less than 4, get to talk to somebody and actually get what they need. So AI can solve all of these problems. I want you to think about that one thing that you're now that I'm saying this is like, you are kept up at night by this thing in your business. Do y'all know what that is for you? The thing that you would solve if you could solve it just right now. Usually people have one, but here's a few. I'm not going to read every one of these, but the training, labor shortages, supply chain disruptions, handling all of the communications that come in, technology, actually integrating systems to talk to each other, estimating. Who does project quoting in here? How much time do you spend per week on a quote? Your whole week. All the time. Lead generation, following up on leads. How about content creation? Anybody here post on social media? It'd be so cool to be able to automate that, right? So I've come up with a framework that's called the Grit AI framework, and it's really 4 steps. The first step is to gain awareness of what's even out there. That's what we're doing right now. You're learning about it. You're figuring out what's even available. And that's going to help you to understand where you might actually want to do something in your business with AI. The second step is to refine your strategy. So you're going to figure out exactly what you need to do to pick 1 or 2 problems that you want to solve. So let's just say you start super simple and you want to just start writing some emails with ChatGPT. You could learn to do that tonight and be doing it tomorrow. That is so simple. So if you're not sure where to start, you want to really go and figure out what is the thing that I could do quickest that would help save me the most time and effort. How many of you have ever had an email where you need to send something back to someone, either a coworker, a customer, whoever, a vendor, and you kind of need to send like a really firm email, like I'm not playing around, but you also don't want to sound like a jerk? Anybody ever had that like in between? So you can actually say that to ChatGPT. You can say, I want to send this email. Here's what I want to say. And then you can actually say, I want to be very firm, but professional. Don't sound like a jerk, but make sure they know I mean business. And it will write that email for you. So it's really cool how you can do that. All right, the third step is to implement and iterate. So I already told you there is no perfection in life, but especially not with this. It keeps getting better and better. And also, you're going to keep getting better. So just keep working with these tools to figure out which one works for you. And then you're going to take it to the next level. So that's where you start using tools that talk to each other and really transforming your business from something that is kind of technology behind, like fax machines, into something that's technology forward. All right, are y'all ready to see some demos? All right, I'm going to tell you, I got to narrate this a little bit because it's really loud in here. But I'm going to show you a few different things. So this first one is going to be an email tool. This is a grit tip that I use. This is the very first thing that changed the game for me in AI. How many of you type all your prompts into ChatGPT? You actually physically type them. Okay. There is a Chrome extension. It's called Voice. So Voice in, and it actually allows you to talk to AI. So you just talk to it just like you were telling your kid, your wife, your husband, your coworker, hey, here's the directions. You actually speak into it. And so if you start to use that, what happens is you can actually give it much more detailed and long prompts so that you don't have to do, the baseline of, hey, write me an email. That's where you start to tell it this long stuff that gives it the detail it needs. That, if you learn nothing else today, if you use ChatGPT and speak to it, it will help you be better at AI. So if you want to know more about that, we can talk about it. But this is actually ChatGPT. So you're going to see down here, it's going to have what I'm saying to it. I'm actually talking to it in this video. You just can't hear it. And then it's going to show you down here what I'm saying, okay? So just watch. And this whole thing is called Loom. And I'm screen recording this. So I'm going to talk about Loom in a second, okay? Let's just watch this. So this is me saying, I want to write an email. Want to send it to one of my customers. We had a tough conversation about pricing. So she called and said, or he or she called and said, hey, you're too high. You're higher than the other people. I want to write a follow-up email and ask if they have any more questions and if they're ready to go forward with the order. But I want to use value-based selling. So how many of you get tired of competing on just price, right? There's so much more to life than that. So I'm telling it what type of message I want to send. Give me 3 reasons why my door package is better than the competition. I know this guy, his name's John. So maybe he's called me before, but we're not best friends or anything. So I'm telling it how friendly to be. And then I'm telling it that my name is Stefanie Couch, spelled with an F, because it really needs to know that. That's the only problem I have with AI is it spells my name wrong every single time. So now you can see how quickly this is writing an email. I mean, it's instant. And it's given me those 3 things that I asked for. So 3 reasons, value-based selling reasons. And then I'm going to actually say, hey, I forgot something, because you can continue to prompt this, right? So your first go is not the final thing. It's just a practice round. So now I want to say, hey, I want to mention that we have a lifetime warranty. And that's the thing I really want to sell on. The door is actually already finished black too, so you're not going to have to hire a painter like you would with this other quote, because we're value-based selling, right? And I want to showcase that our product and our service is why we have over 600 reviews on Google. So I'm telling it the things that I think are important, and then it's rewriting that again. So all you have to do with this is continue to prompt it. And you've got to know that one prompt is probably not going to be enough, but you could have sent that first email. Probably better than what a lot of us would have typed after 20 minutes of thinking, right? All right, so what you just saw, that screen record, is actually this tool. It's called Loom. And this is another tool that you can use for free. They do have, every tool has a paid version, so you get the benefits, and then you're like, I love this, pay me $20 a month. So this is Loom. And you can use this for your internal communications. You can send it to customers. If you have a complicated quote or a complicated system, you can show this to anyone so you can use it for training. And it can actually make SOPs. So let me show you. You heard what I just told it, right? This is actually what automatically Loom gave me because I recorded that video, exactly step by step what I did. I told it to give me a subject line. I told it to say hello, start the email with a polite greeting. So if you were trying to train someone, like I just did with you, on how to use that, it is a step-by-step guide. This can be used for anything in your business, or you could even send one of these to your kids about how to put their clothes up in their closet. You can do any kind of SOP. It probably won't work, but you can send it. So this is a great tool. And again, you can try this stuff for free. All right, this is the one I think is the coolest. It's a little bit crazy Terminator stuff, right? Because it's an actual AI talking to someone. But live chat, so if you're actually talking to someone or an agent in your business, can increase your sales by 40%. Would anybody in here be up for 40% more business? Yeah? All right. So this is called a voice AI agent. And this is really because you are missing 68% of phone calls in most businesses. This is how you stop that from happening. Again, I'm going to narrate this, but this is actually a phone call between my husband and this voice AI agent. So he's talking to this AI customer service agent. So, hello, you've reached Stefanie's AI door assistant. Ben saying, hey, my front door is really worn out and I was looking to learn about a front door. And she asked, do you have a specific type of door that you're wanting? We have fiberglass doors. We have a specialty collection. And he says, I don't really know about doors. He doesn't want a wood door because he's already got one that's rotten. And then she automatically says, okay, I hear you. Fiberglass could be a great option. They're durable. We have different styles. She's talking about what styles of doors Plastpro and all these other vendors have. And he says, yep, I want to go with a modern style door. And then it starts to automatically sell the Nova 90. Sleek, modern design, black finish. You don't have to paint. Would you like to know more about this collection? So all of this is just based on what this person is saying to that AI agent. And this can be programmed for any business with any kind of product. Talking about, hey, we have this different type of glass in the Honest collection here. And the main point of this is not to sell the door, even though I do actually believe in the future that will happen. The main point of this really is to get that customer, number one, to pick up the phone and actually talk to them. And secondly, to qualify them a little bit. Are you serious or not? And third, to get their contact information. That's the number one most important part, right? So now she's asking, can I get your name, your email, and he's giving his name is Ben Couch. You guys want to email him some spam? About to find out his email right here. And he says, this is the right name. And then it asks for your address and everything is confirmed. So it's making sure that it's spelling it right and doing all that right. How many of you think this would change your business if you never miss another phone call again? And you could use this for anything. So you could use this for internal training. You can use this for anything. So now it's asking you for the phone number. And the coolest part about this is that it doesn't stop there. So it actually will email you an automated transcript of everything that was said there. This automatically happens right when you get off. It directly integrates into your CRM system. So you're going to be able to track that. You could send in an email if you wanted every single person that came in here to get an email right afterwards. That could be done. So this is literally limitless. And this just came out in the last few months. I spoke at a conference in November and talked to some of the same people that are here. This was not available then. It did not exist in this capacity. Yes. So you have to program it with information based on your brand. So like, for instance, we programmed it. My husband built this. We built this one from scratch. We programmed it to be smart about doors in Plastpro. We just did. This is what we do, man. So technically you could do it. This is not impossible for a person like you to do. It just takes time, but you could pay somebody like us to do it, and it's a one time and then it's done. And then you could just add the information, right? So they're built out just like a software database. You build it out and then you just utilize it. So the other thing that I love is that training process is so particular for technical training. So how do you know what an onyx door is versus, a regular fiberglass door versus steel? You could put a training bot together that can build that into where your new employees come in and have that as a reference. All right, I want to give you a few. This is another picture taker if you're interested. These are a few of my favorite tools. Some of these I've shown you. So Loom is the video messaging and the SOP creation. It has a lot of really cool features. How many of you would like to make a video today of like what you're seeing and have it edited super quick by AI to post on social? Okay, try this tool when you get back to your room. It's called Opus Pro. You can try it for free. Don't even have to sign up. They'll let you do a video for free. All you have to do is go in and automatically add captions. And if you recorded this whole video of me up here talking, and there was something really interesting that I said at minute 8:32, it's going to say, wow, that thing she said at 8:32 is cool. It's going to automatically clip that. It knows the thing is the best hook. So a hook is the first 1 to 2 sentences of a post or the first 1 to 2 sentences of something you say. It will know that that's the coolest thing that somebody's going to actually care about. So it will comment and click that and say, use this clip all by itself. Zoom, if you use Zoom or Teams, it will actually do a meeting summary, much like I talked about with Applaud, and give you all of the follow-ups. These are unlimited options, but there's a lot of CRMs that have AI that can do a lot of stuff like what I showed you with the follow-ups. How many of you often have to do research on either products or people? Anybody? Perplexity is my favorite tool for that. It is really, really good at deep research and deep reasoning. So it actually has real-time access to the internet. So if I went and pulled something right now that happened yesterday on IBS floor, it will be on Perplexity, real time. And then the last one, this one's really good. This one just came out with a big update this week. It's called Claude, and it is also similar to ChatGPT, but for me, I think that the ability to do content creation is stronger, and it will actually code a website for you. So you can take that and tell it what you want. It will code a website, and then you can actually copy and paste the HTML out of it to put into an actual website. Now, is this going to be an $80,000 custom website? No, but you could use this to make a website landing page right now. The number one thing I want you to know is that this is not going to stop being innovative. And everything that I tell you today, if we talk in 6 weeks, I'll have something new and cool that came out because it's going to continue. So if you start right now, you're still an early adopter. In 2 years, every person in this room will be wishing they started in February of 2025 using this. So don't wait, start testing this. All right, this is just a QR code. Sign up if you want to learn more like newsletter stuff. And then if you want to know how to build a custom chatbot, there you go. You can click a button right there and we'll contact you about it. But this is really just for get more information. And then I would love to take some questions from you guys. So you'll have to just let me hear it, and then I'll say it back to the crowd so we can know what you're asking. But if anybody has any questions, detailed questions or high-level questions, please let me know. Okay, the question was, how efficient is the research part of it? So I'm going to give you a few tricks on that. There have been a lot of talks about AI making stuff up, and it sometimes will do that. So if you tell AI to tell a story about how great the IBS show was, it's going to make up a story. But if you say, I want to write an email and I want to use a fact about how many missed calls a small business averages missing every year, cite the sources. Do not make this up. If you say that, it will actually say this source came from Forbes. If you use Perplexity, it actually has the source, like, on a doctorate paper down at the bottom in the footnotes. You can click it and it'll take you right to that website. So that was a big, big problem in 2022 when this first came out. I think like 50% of what it said was bullcrap. Nowadays, it's very low, and especially if you prompted the right way. So everything continually goes back to that prompting of tell me the truth, don't make up any lies, right? So that's how you can make sure that doesn't happen. That's a great question. Anyone else? So the question was, is this replace a traditional voicemail, or does it work side by side? I actually think it will replace voicemail. And I think what happens is a business that's not open 24/7, which unless you're like an ER or something like that, even if you have a 24/7 on-call person like a plumber or electrician or something like that, you're probably not live answering the call at 2:30, right? So this will help you to get that call and not miss it. And then hopefully you're going to have a way quicker response time. So businesses that respond to someone within 5 minutes close over 302 times more business. 5 minutes. How many of you could guarantee that you or anyone that works for you is going to get back to somebody in 5 minutes every single time? I certainly can't. I mean, I try my best, but I can't do that every day. Like right now, if you emailed me 5 minutes ago, here I am. I'm not emailing you back, right? But this girl can. She can take your information and be right back to you and say, hey, Steph's going to get back to you. Here's the deal. So that's really what I see it being, is like it's a receptionist that never turns off. Great question. Yeah. Yeah. So you could tell it anything you want like that, you can program into it. So if you wanted it to say, hey, Stephanie's out of office until 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so we'll be back. It will easily do that. So you can tell it and program it. That's the great thing about this that I love. It is literally unlimited. The limit does not exist. That's a Mean Girls quote. But at the end of the day, if you can think it, AI can probably do it, and it can talk to all your different systems. So it may take a little more work to program than just doing what I just showed you, but there's very little stuff that I've tried to code that Ben can't figure out pretty easily. And we're pretty techy, but we're not coders. So at the end of the day, this is only going to get easier, but you will not be replaced by AI in most of your jobs. But the person who becomes an AI person will probably replace you, or you'll replace them if you choose to do this. Any other questions?
I think I have a voice.
Yeah. So if you go to Google right now and you just punch in voice, VOICENIN, and it's a Chrome extension that's called speech to dictation. So it'll say that. That's the Chrome extension. If you download that, it will work on your desktop. Now, if you have ChatGPT on your phone, it has native voice where you can talk to it. But on your desktop, you have to do that Chrome assistant.
Yes. I have it here. I don't have
Yep.
it.
So voice in speech to text dictation is what it's called. Anybody else have questions? Yeah.
I got a question.
Sure. So the question was that his wife goes in and takes all his manual invoices. Are you doing the invoices like handwritten, or how are you doing it?
They just come in and
From Sage. Okay. To pay your payables, not who you're invoicing. Okay. So like the electric bill, all those things. Okay. So he's wanting to take those off of a invoice and put those into his system. So I know a little bit about Sage, and I'm sure there's an integration that could be made for that. But what you can actually do with ChatGPT is you can actually take a picture of anything and say, put in a PDF and say, put this down for me on a list. If you had a list, if I had every one of your names right now and you wrote it on a piece of paper with your email, I could take a picture in that and say, give me this list in Excel spreadsheet, and it'll do that. So if you could do that with any picture. If you wanted to take a picture of that right there, and it says solar panel mini blinds, if you took that and put it in ChatGPT, it would scribe that out for you. So that will be the solution, because then you can put it into a CSV and then load that into Sage. Yeah. Yes.
Can I put ads for builders?
Yeah.
ChatGPT and say, give me the square footage for this room, that room.
Yes.
Curious.
but it would have to have some sort of measurement that would tell you. So if it said like this wall is 10'3", this wall is 10'3", this wall is 12'6", yes, it should be able to do that. I've never tested that, but there are softwares that I know can do that. Will ChatGPT do it? I think so, but don't.
Yeah.
You can send me hate mail later if I'm wrong about that. But I'm pretty sure it will. And the truth is that there are plenty of softwares out there that already do that. Okay. Yeah, really cool.
A class or
That's a great question. So the question was, where did I learn all this? I learned it the same way that I learned everything else in life. I started messing around and just figured it out. So I did go to one conference when I first started that was just like some guys just like me just talking about it. It was the first or second month after ChatGPT came up. And the one thing that I learned that saved me so much time was that voice in, the talking to it. But other than that, we just experimented. And I have email newsletters and stuff about AI that come to my email. And every morning I read for 5 or 10 minutes about the newest thing. If it interests me, I'll go in and try it and I'll test it. And I just keep working. My secret to life, not that I have it all figured out, but everything I have figured out is nobody else knows what the hell they're doing either. And if you just keep trying, you'll figure it out. Great question. Well, thank you guys so much. If y'all have more questions, y'all can come up and I'd love to answer them. But thank you so much. And I would love to continue to talk about it if you guys want to message me here or whatever. I'm also on LinkedIn. So Stefanie with an F. Thank you so much.